Thank you, Sanket. Pleased to join you all. Can I begin by asking you all a quick question? Um, are you all very quickly? Are you guys all in high school, like juniors and so on in high school?
Yes, all sophomores, juniors, and freshmen.
I'm a freshman, yeah.
Got it. Got it. Okay. And Sanket, can you say a few words about the club and so on here?
Yeah, so Stock Market Club is basically a small club that we founded here in our town, Weston, and we host various events that expand financial literacy for our students here. One of them is what Zunian has founded. It's known as the Speaker Series, where we get Nobel laureates and esteemed professionals from the industry to come and speak with us about their experiences within economics, business, and finance, and just help the students here get a bit more educated in the field that they're interested in.
Got it. Got it. Okay. So, before I begin speaking, maybe what I'd like to do is have you and the viewers here um, suggest a couple of questions that they have in mind, and I'll try to get a sense of what interests various people. So maybe we'll start with you guys. So tell me very briefly, one, if you heard about edX, and what might interest you guys. We have 20 minutes, so I can talk about a lot of things. So love to focus on what might be interesting to you. So so why don't we have you say a few words about what you're interested in.
Okay, well, we actually have a few questions lined up for you, a set of 6 questions. One of them would be, how do you foresee education evolving over the next 10 or 20 years now?
Got it. So maybe what I'll do is, so you're looking for generally a discussion about the future of education and so on. So maybe what I'll do is begin by giving you all a quick overview of edX and the kind of how we got started and things like that. So how many of you, raise your hands, how many of you have heard about edX? Okay. Are you all aware that Weston High School is an edX partner? So many of your teachers in high school have courses on edX. So does any of you have Boris Korzanski in one of your courses in physics? Who's taking physics here? So Boris Korzanski has courses on edX. We also have several other courses. I think there might be one in, I think these are called pre-AP courses, where these were created to provide students starting in Western High School as a leg up on AP. And then we made them available to the students all over the world as a way of familiarizing them with some of the concepts that people needed before they started the AP. So, Western High School has been an incredible partner of edX for a long time. So, but to give you some of my own background very quickly, so my family has been living in Weston for the past certainly longer than each of you have, since before you were born. So we've been here for, let's see, 26 years. And both my kids, Akash and Anisha, went through Weston from grade 1 through grade 12. So very familiar with the school system and all your teachers and so on. It's a great place. So very quickly, edX started out in 2011. edX is an online learning platform which connects learners to great universities that have incredible courses and content. So how many of you are familiar with Airbnb or Uber and things like that? You probably all taken Airbnb and Uber, right? So how does Airbnb work? Airbnb is a platform company that connects people that want a space in a house to people that have a house. So consumers connect to suppliers. So edX is a platform company in the same way. We connect learners to teachers at great institutions who have courses. And so we launched edX about 10 years ago, and founded by Harvard and MIT. And so the very first course on edX was mine, was a course on circuits. And over the past 10 years, as this platform company connecting learners to content providers like Harvard and MIT, we've grown to 46 million 46 million students from every single country in the world. And many of your teachers at Weston High School, many of you are taking courses on edX, and many of your teachers are teaching on edX as well. And so edX has become this major learning movement. And the way we started edX was that we launched the website. We had no idea what was going to happen. We had no business model to start. So we just launched it as a website with a free course. And the demand was so great that both suppliers and consumers came to us. So learners began coming to us. And then more and more universities and companies came to us saying, look, can we offer courses on edX? So today we have about 240 institutions who offer content on edX, ranging from some of the top universities in the world, like Harvard, MIT, Oxford, Cambridge, Berkeley, Stanford. Every one of the Ivy universities offer courses on edX. Many companies like Google and Amazon, IBM and Microsoft and others also offer courses on edX. And so they are the suppliers, and learners like yourself take these courses on edX. So when we launched, we had no business model. The courses were free. As we began to gather more and more learners, we quickly had to figure out how do we build a business model. So the business model we came up with was, look, we'll make the courses available for free, but if you want a certificate, and if you want the graded assignments, for example, then you have to pay a small fee. So this is called a freemium model. It's almost as if you join Uber, like you take a ride in an Uber, and imagine if they gave you rides that are less than 10 minutes for free, and anything more than 10 minutes you pay. That's a freemium model. And so ours is a freemium model where you can go to edX with one click, you can learn and start learning for free. And there's 4,000 courses on virtually any topic that you can imagine, ranging from high school subjects like math, physics, chemistry, and so on, all the way to a professional education. And we also have a number of full degrees. So let me ask you a quick question, folks. When you guys go to college, assuming all of you want to go to college, yell out, what kind of degrees are you seeking yourselves?
Econ.
Finance.
Pardon?
Finance.
Econ, finance. What else?
Engineering.
Engineering. So we have a number of degrees on edX, and so the London School of Economics, for example, has a number of bachelor's degrees completely online on edX. So you can learn from London School of Economics completely online and get a degree in econ from London School of Economics. We have a number of engineering, computer science, data science degrees. For example, we have degrees from UT Austin. It's a top 10 school in both computer science and data science, and each of these degrees is just $10,000. These are master's degrees, of course. And so the range of degrees that we offer on the platform. So everything from individual courses all the way to degrees. One of the cooler innovations that we did along the way was finding that, particularly post-COVID, a lot of people wanted smaller chunks of learning that could form a ramp, an on-ramp into a full degree. So we launched these programs called micro bachelors. So you heard about bachelors. So think of micro bachelors as mini bachelors. So there are about 1 or 2 or 3 courses at the bachelor's level that you can take. So we have an undergraduate degree in econ from London School of Economics. How many of you have heard of LSE? Okay, many of you have heard of it. So you can take the full undergraduate econ degree from LSE and completely online, 100% online. At the same time, they've launched micro bachelors in math on edX. So micro bachelors are 1 or 2 short courses which you can complete. And if you complete them, you get a certificate from LSE called micro bachelors in mathematics, for example. And those certificates result in credits that you can transfer into a bachelor's degree at LSE and many other universities. So, for high school students, I would urge you to go check out, just Google micro bachelors on edX, and you can see some of these new topics. The concept of micro bachelors is that people in high school and later can take a small piece of a bachelor's degree to get the feel of it. And they get, and it turns into credit in the future. It's very inexpensive. It's free to join. You can start learning for free. And then a complete micro bachelor's, which is about 6 to 8 credits generally, the certification might cost a few $100s. So a big part of our mission is to make education accessible to everybody, everywhere, like the air we breathe. Education is a human right. And so we want to make it affordable, make it available everywhere. In terms of affordability, a typical master's in computer science from UT Austin is $45,000. On edX, we launched it for $10,000. So a pretty insane pricing in order to increase affordability. And the key to all of this is using technology to scale to the 46 million learners that we have on the platform right now. So with that, let me pause right there. Rather than talking more, let me take your questions and augment as I go along with answering your questions. So hope that gave you a quick overview of edX and a feel for what we do.
If you get a bachelor degree, wait, 1 second. Can you lower your volume? If you get a bachelor degree from this NX and you only pay $10,000, is it a legitimate degree and it's as respected as from this university?
Yeah.
University.
Yeah. So for example, the $10,000 degrees I talked about are master's degrees from UT Austin. We also have a $24,000 MBA from Boston University, where the regular degree is $80,000 at BU, and this one's $24,000. And you said, is it legitimate? Absolutely. The degree that you get at the end of it, the piece of paper, is identical whether you do it on campus or you do it online. It's an identical piece of paper. And so you put that on your resume or LinkedIn, no one can tell the difference. It's the same thing. Same thing with London School of Economics. You get a bachelor's degree and you get a full bachelor's, and it's the same accredited bachelor's that you would get if you go to campus. And the London School of Economics bachelor's degree in econ, I believe those degrees are about, if I'm not mistaken, about $15,000, $20,000 for the entire bachelor's degree. And compare that to bachelor's degrees in the US, where oftentimes they can range, to $200,000, $250,000. So we're really trying to create quality education with the same kind of credential, but accessible to everybody in the world.
Do you know the acceptance rates? Are they the same, like for the colleges on edX, or different?
There's a lot of background noise. Could you ask the question again?
Yeah. I'm sorry. Is there like an acceptance rate to get accepted to one of these bachelor degrees, like a normal university?
That's a great question, Maxim.
Yeah.
Okay. So it depends on the program. So micro bachelors on edX are free general enrollment. You can enroll with one click. So micro bachelors, micro masters, professional certificates, and our courses are all free to enroll. So for example, we have a micro bachelor's in chemistry, university chemistry from Harvard. So you can learn university chemistry from Harvard for free, and certification costs a few $100s, and it's a one-click enroll. So even before you apply to Harvard, you can get an amazing credential from Harvard. You can do courses at MIT. You can do many of the basic undergraduate courses from MIT and get a certificate from MIT. And those are completely open enrollment. Degrees tend to have an admissions criteria. But then again, online, because there's no limit to the number of people that can be taught. For example, in the computer science degree from UT Austin, we have 2,000 students. It's a master's. The campus admits only 30 students a year because there's limits on how many people can come to campus. So online, the degree is like 20, 30 times bigger. So the admission rates, so there is an application process you have to apply and get admitted, but it's much easier to get admission because there's no artificial constraint on how many people they can admit. So to repeat the answer, for degree programs, yes, you have to apply to be admitted, but for everything else, it's one click and you're enrolled and you can start learning.
I have a question to add on to that. So with the difference of like degree versus the certifications that you guys offer, I know like probably when I was thinking, or when I was like taking one of the EdX courses, some people told me that there was like a large stigma between online and in-person courses. Like a lot of people might believe that online courses are less credible or in some form like lesser than in-person courses. So when you were developing this program, did you think that did you ever run into issues where people questioned this form or like this type of business model? And I guess how is it now that today people are actually able to do it? Like, how
Yeah,
did you get
that's a
past
good
this obstacle?
it's a good question, Siang. When we started 10 years ago, people said, yeah, online is different from in person, and online somehow is a variable quality. So what we did was that we did a number of A/B tests. Now, websites do these A/B tests all the time, where you have a control group and then you have a group that is trying something new, and then you compare the results. So we've done a number of tests. So at MIT, for example, in 2016, we did a test where half the students, enrolled students at MIT, did a fully online course on edX, and half the students did the same course on campus. And we published a number of papers on it. And turns out that and they were all given the same final exam. And the performance of the students in the final exam was similar. And so there have been any number of studies comparing the two. And what has been shown is that the two are of comparable quality. And in many cases, the students that are coming out of online have been found to be stronger and better. So MIT published a paper saying that the people that came to MIT after having done some of this online work were actually stronger than the on-campus students. So I think I'm sure there are ignorant people in the world that still believe in the 19th century, drivel. But the modern people understand now that online is same quality or better than in person, particularly now that top universities have begun giving the same kind of degree, whether you're on campus or online. In fact, at MIT, for instance, for many universities, if you complete a course on edX, like MIT's Intro to Computer Science, and the application forms at MIT asks you, what edX courses have you done? And they ask you to upload your certificates. And today, 25% of the incoming class at MIT has already taken an edX course. And by the time people graduate MIT, 99% of the students have completed edX courses. So more and more universities are taking into account, and favoring students that have completed online courses.
I have a question. How do you guys differ from Coursera? Like, what's the difference?
So there are quite a few differences. One is that edX is focused very heavily on quality, and if you look at our university partners, I mentioned some of the names. The top 5 universities in the world today are MIT, Harvard, Oxford, Cambridge, Berkeley, and none of these 5 are on Coursera. They're all on edX. In fact, 36 of the world's top 50 universities are on edX. So you all heard about the A League and the B League. So really the A League universities are on edX, like MIT, Harvard. They're exclusive. You won't find them on any other platform. And so that is one major difference, the quality. We just focused very heavily on quality. I think the second is that for those of you who understand computer science and software, we've released our platform to the whole world as open source software. So anybody can take our platform and launch a website, and many countries have adopted it. So that's another big differentiator between us and Coursera. And the third thing is that all of these micro credentials I've talked about, like micro bachelors and micro masters, edX has the trademark on them. So we invented them, and these short modular programs, you won't find them anywhere else, not on Coursera, not anywhere else. So I would say these are some of the big differentiators. And so I tell people, if you want to spend 2 or 3 months taking a course, just go take it from the best. If you're going to spend your energy and time and it's free to enroll, go take it from the best.
Well, clearly you've made several strides in the online education space. So now I'm sort of wondering if you believe online education, such as like massive open online courses, should exist as a complement or a substitute for traditional in-person education.
By the way, Sanket, I heard that, but hopefully you can maybe adjust your settings or something, or speak a little louder. Your voice is coming across as very faint. So your question was about, are these open online courses an augmentation or substitution of campus education? Really, they're both. And for many students who can't afford to go into a top school and pay the $250,000, or for whatever reason they don't get admitted. For them, doing these online programs is the only option. And similarly, for people that get into a university, online courses can help augment their schooling. And at MIT, for example, every undergrad at MIT is also taking edX courses on the side to augment their learning. And so I think the short answer to your question, Sanket, is that online learning in the long term will augment and be like on par at the same level as in-person learning. And the new form of learning will be what is called blended. You kind of blend in-person and online, because there are many benefits to online learning. So for example, one of the big benefits of online learning is that you can be learning at your own pace. It's very flexible. You learn at your own pace. You can watch videos at night. You don't have to go to class at 8 o'clock in the morning. All your grading is instantaneous. You submit a homework, you get the grades back right away. You submit a problem answer, you get feedback right away. You don't have to wait a week or 2 weeks to get feedback. So there are a lot of benefits to kind of the instantaneous gratification you get from online learning.
So I think there might be like a lack of, I guess, like teacher involvement. I think some people have brought up the idea that if, say, you have a question, I know that on EDX, like question forms exist and that type of thing, but I think some people have like qualms about not being able to directly interact with the teacher. So in like all of your EDX courses, do you think that that might play like a really big, or do you think it's like insignificant to contribute to one person's learning?
I think it's material. Interacting with the teacher is helpful, but trust me, you go to a big university like MIT. Your computer science 101 course has 600 students in it. Okay, and you talk to most MIT students, they don't interact with the teachers. The joke is that once you're behind the first, once you're not in the first two rows, it's like distance education. And so very little interaction with teachers. And if you go to bigger state universities like Michigan or some of the others, you may have 1,000 or 1,500 students in a class. So God help you trying to get access to a teacher's time. So, but that said, a teacher's time is valuable, particularly if you can get access and do research with the teacher. So, in an online course, teachers do interact with students through the Q&A forum, but it's very limited interaction. But if you can get access to a teacher on campus, there's nothing like it. It's very good.
What do you think is the best advice you would give to a high school student interested in getting involved in the field of education or maybe even IT?
I think I'd give two very quick pieces of advice. For those that want to get into the field, I would say, while you're in high school, in addition to doing a normal coursework, take the course. There's a course on edX on how to learn online. It's a 2-hour course, I think. Take it. Everybody should learn how to learn online. And so that's an incredibly useful life skill. Take that course. And second, pick an intro if you haven't done ComSci, or even if you're doing ComSci, take a course on learning Python. Take Harvard's CS50 course, which is a blockbuster course. We have kids 11, 12 years old taking some of these courses. So, take an online course. Doesn't matter what topic you want to study. If you're doing finance, take a finance course. Doing econ, do an econ course. We have courses on all topics. Do an online course while in high school. Earn a certificate. Put that on your resume. That will help you get into college. It will help you get internships. It's incredible value, and you don't have to. If you can learn for free, you want the certificate, you pay couple $100. It's nothing. I would say get started.
I have a question. So what are like some general problems when like developing a company like edX?
You talking about what are the general problems in developing a company like edX? Is that the question, Michael?
Yeah.
So, edX, edX was nonprofit. By the way, Maxim, to your question, there was another big differentiator with Coursera, edX being nonprofit and Coursera being for profit. But be that as it may, edX faced, like with any startup company, we faced many, many challenges. How do you, and you have to find a way to address those challenges. The first challenge we faced was when we grew very rapidly, we had to find a way to monetize and generate revenue. Everything was free. So the first challenge was, how do we build a business model? And so we kept experimenting with a number of things and ultimately landed on a business model. And today, some of you may be familiar with the Harvard Business Review case studies. Harvard writes business, HBS, Harvard Business School writes these case studies. So they've written a case study about how edX figured out its business model. And so that was one of the biggest challenges we faced. And we overcame that challenge. And it was so important that Harvard wrote a case study on it that they teach all their business school students who are getting into starting companies and so on. So I would say figuring out the business model was probably a biggest challenge. And we overcame that by testing. We tried many different things and see how they worked, and ultimately landed on the model where we gave the course for free. But if you wanted to get the certificate, or if you wanted to get the graded homeworks, you had to pay a small fee.
Okay, well, that looks like it's about the end of our meeting time. Thank you so much, Professor Agarwal, for this time, for coming, and thank you everyone else. And look forward to learning from your.
Hey, thank you, and all the best, folks. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.